Greetings, everyone. It's time for the Legends of Valcia, our D&D campaign. I will let our wonderful dungeon master explain to you why he is a blue picture instead of a face.
Because I'm feeling a little blue, Solama. No, in all seriousness, I was moving around my studio and I decided that I would drop my webcam into a mop bucket. Unfortunately, webcams don't like to swim, so it's kind of cranky with me and is now sitting on the bench, not working. So I'm going to have to try and find a way to get a new webcam, which I'll be doing in the immediate future. In the meantime, the stream is going to have twice the fun, but only about half as much beard, I'm afraid. So, seeing as Eversaw is also shaved by the looks of things. How is everybody doing tonight? It's been a month since I last saw everybody. How you all doing?
I'm excited to be back to D&D. I have a ton of fun with this.
Yeah, I'm really excited that we're doing this again.
All right, fantastic. Well, I suppose we should just pretty much jump straight into it. Who would like to do a recap of what we have done? Just a sort of brief overview of the adventure so far from start to finish, so that, you know, if people are new to this particular stream, then they know what we've been doing. Anybody want to take that one, Llama, maybe?
See, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do nose goes, and then we can't see Babs' camera, so she loses.
Okay.
my summary might be disjointed. You might have to throw some bits in. My memory is like a goldfish. So, once upon a time, a bunch of folks were on a boat, and there was a giant storm, and the boat did not fare very well. And the folks ended up on a beach. And we were recovering from our boat not doing so well in the storm. And one of our newfound friends found an ear in his pocket and a note. And one thing led to another, and maybe the wolf ate the ear, and we ended up in an inn, like you do when you're an adventurer. And we decided to go to this cave. And I can't remember why we went to the cave. Something about the note said, go find a cave. Help.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a note, it was a dream.
Oh, a dream. That's better than a note.
That, told me to dispose of the ear and go to the cave.
So we disposed of the ear. Cleverly, I might add. And then proceeded to find a cave. And inside the cave, there were some lizardy things, which we killed.
As you
Apparently,
do.
just kill things.
During a home invasion when you're an adventurer.
Right. And then we tried some science in a pool, which worked better for some of us than others. And yeah. This cave may or may not have at one time been a temple. There were some angels with the snakes on them that did not belong. The snakes did not belong, the angels did. So we're trying to clean up this temple. That is also a cave.
Yes, and sort of discover what was going on. So yeah, we've had some interesting encounters, and if you haven't watched all of the stuff so far, then you can definitely check it all out on YouTube. But let's get back into it. So at the end of last session, you had you'd found the second angel relief, and you'd also found through the Hall of Silence, which was a lot of fun. You managed to get this extra source of water. You brought it back. You poured it over the snake skeleton, or the snake bones that were wrapped around the neck of the angel in this room that you're all standing in currently. And after a violent hissing, the sort of bones disintegrated and fell away from the statue, leaving it completely unmarked. And that, I believe, was where we left off at the end of last session. So you've just witnessed this miracle, these bones that were, for all intents and purposes, fused to this angelic statue, just evaporate. What do you guys want to do now? Are we going to continue exploring the dungeon?
We would like to feel pleased with ourselves. Good work, us.
Excellent job. There are some unexplored passages that we can investigate. As I look around, where are the doors that we haven't opened?
Okay, so if you head up and to the left, there's one there, yep, where Eversword just pinged. That's the only door that you found that you haven't been through. And you did open it, and it looked like a really long corridor heading north, but you haven't actually been down that direction at all. You turned around and went south.
Okay, because we are still curious about where the lizard people came from, and we had some reason to believe this cave was the source of the storm that wrecked our ship. And neither of those mysteries have been solved yet.
This is very true, yeah.
Okay, so let's go hope that the answer lies down that last hallway.
Okie dokie. Well, you should all have control of your appropriate party members if you want to head over that door, and we'll get a marching order sort of thing. And I guess once you're there, you'll be opening the door. Once everybody's sort of in position.
We've already happily sprung all of the traps down this hallway.
You have, yep. There's, as far as you can tell, there's nothing. And, like, basically, you're going to be in front of the door, aren't you, Harbuk?
It seems to be how we do things as I go first.
Yeah, and you also have dark vision, I believe, as a dwarf, so you can see all the way to the end of the corridor, even though you guys have been traveling with very low ambient light. I think most of the time you've had, like, a light spell on a stone from Brieg or something like that, which is like a 30-foot illumination, I believe.
Yeah, 20 maybe? Yeah,
I think we did a little Iron Man action at one point, as I recall.
Yes, yeah, you did. There was a stone on a chest, etc. Anyway, this is the corridor. It is a long corridor, same stone that the rest of these corridors have been hewed from. There's still the dripping and the incessant sort of whistling wind that passes through these corridors. You can see it looks to have a fork, an intersection that heads both left and right, about 30 feet in front of you.
Okay.
So I would happily disarm any traps that we come across. I am terrible at finding them in any way other than stumbling into them. So somebody that is better at looking at things.
I think we decided that Tabarin was our best finder.
That is probably true.
I'll be right behind you, lad.
Alright. Well, I'm super squishy, though. This is going to be fun.
I'll be right behind you, lad.
But he's wide enough that he blocks the whole corridor, so if you want to actually leave the corridor, you need to...
I'll just get real low.
You need to
jump over me.
Okay, so you manage to travel the length of the corridor like that, and there are no traps, or nothing that you've triggered anyway, so that's all good, I guess. The corridor does split both left and right, as you suspected. From what you can see, the corridor terminates about 30 feet down to the right, and then the corridor appears to turn both left and right, a little bit down to the left, about 20 feet down to the left.
If I've learned anything from playing Final Fantasy games, it's that we need to go and click the A button down around that dead-end corner, because there's almost certainly a random hidden item to pick up.
That gnome says the weirdest things.
That was clearly out of character. Llamachomp.
Break the fourth wall, little mate. Jeez. Okay, so you're sneaking down towards the corridor. I'll get you to roll investigate. Is it investigate that finds traps now? I think it is, isn't it? Or perception?
Or perception.
I thought it was perception. If it's investigate, I'm actually not terrible at it.
Okay, do perception, because it's your actual, hearing, seeing, smelling, etc. Whereas investigation is more hands-on searching everything, from what I can see. So roll me one of those. Anybody in the corridor can do it as well if they want to. I mean, you might not be the front, but you still can sort of...
And that, my friends, is why I don't look for the traps.
You only disarm them. Okay.
This corridor looks empty.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, all of you guys who are looking down the corridor, you don't see anything, or hear anything, or smell anything. It's just a corridor.
I'll head down and investigate the stonework with an investigation check. Spend some time down at the end looking for anything unusual in the way the stone's been cut, or like maybe this hallway wasn't finished or something. Some reason there would be a dead end here, which seems very odd.
Okay, so you're doing an investigation check. Now, so Llama,
Yes.
are you standing specifically on that square?
Well, I was just going to work my way all the way down the hallway to the end. So at some point, I will be standing on that square, yes.
Okay, when you reach the end of the square, you vanish.
Oh, dear.
You step into the end square, and you're gone.
Poof.
Poof. He just
Oh
disappears.
no!
Well,
More
that's somewhat
science.
unusual.
Tabarin's gonna come down, not all the way to the end, and see if he can figure out what just happened. Obviously, cautious near the end.
Okay, you can roll
having
another
having a background in magic seeming to be the only thing to make someone disappear. I'd like to do an Arcana check.
Yeah, by all means, do one of those.
Crit.
Crit Khana'd it.
It's Crit Kana. There is a very unusual smell here. It's a very out of place smell. It's very sweet, very sickly. Doesn't smell like anything else that you smelt in this particular cave. It's possibly the remnants of a discharge of a spell. That would, quite often when a spell is manifested, there are unusual sights, sounds, smells. It's entirely possible that yes, there is some kind of magic at the end of this corridor.
Harbeck, are you out there?
Hey Din.
Yeah.
Come take a look at the end of this hall.
Okay. It looks like a hallway. There was a dwarf in it, but now he's gone.
This is true. This is very true.
What else would you like to know about this hallway?
I sort of like that dwarf. Do you think
Yeah.
Is there any way to make him be not gone?
Well, you were gone
Well,
earlier.
when he tried to make you not gone, he jumped in a pool,
Did
and
that
that didn't work.
It didn't work.
No.
Well, I came back, didn't I?
We've
Yep.
got to go after him if he's gone. I'm gonna reluctantly, cautiously step.
Try science.
Poof. He goes as well.
Are we all gonna try science right now?
Well, it seems to me that if we don't know what's on the other side, it might not be a great idea for us. I mean, we might need to rescue them, not join them in the trap. If it's a trap.
So should we go look for them in the pool?
Well, I suppose that's an idea. Or perhaps we could...
Well, you were in the pool. Where did you go?
There were angels.
So maybe they're not in a trap? Maybe they're safe with the angels?
Maybe. What do you think, Binks?
Let's try this other door.
So I was thinking maybe we
Feel like
should
disappearing.
go look around the corner and see if they're just on the other side.
Sure, because maybe it connects. Here we go.
No worries. Okay, so you're poking your head around the corner. There appears to be a long corridor that just extends, a long way in that direction to the right.
I'm blaming you, short man. You said we should go down the empty hallway.
Well, I just was thinking that maybe, there might be something down there.
Yep, there was a disappearing bit.
So I've noticed.
There was something down there. There was a dwarf down there, and then there wasn't.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the rest of the party for just a minute. We're going to head on over. We're going to try not to break the fourth wall, but we need to know exactly what they're doing here. Oh my god. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. Jesus. There's my darling mother. I just had to tell her to bugger off. Okay.
Hopefully not in those exact words.
I did. I said, bugger off. I'm in the middle of a stream. She said, okay, and just hung up. She knows. She knows. She watches me. She's probably watching me. Actually, she probably will start watching me right now. Okay, so we're not going to hopefully break
Hi,
the.
Lash's mom.
Hopefully not break the metagaming fourth wall here. You guys find yourself in a room. So this is for the people who are in the room. It is full to the brim of treasure. Full to the brim, like gold and jewels and gems and artwork and antique wares and all sorts of exciting things. The room is about 15 feet by about 30 feet. You are both standing in a clear patch on the floor. There's like a clear path on the floor between the wall that you apparently just stepped through and a door opposite you. And you two are together, yeah. Otherwise, nothing unusual.
Hi, Waffle. Tabarin. This room isn't particularly well protected from the entrance side. I wonder if the exit is a bit more dangerous.
You are muted, I believe.
Holy crap.
No, you're not.
What? What? Sorry, I'm a bit taken aback. I can retire on...
Indeed. If we can carry it out of here.
I'm certainly going to try.
But we should be a bit careful, is my point. Once you get the gold out of your eyes and take a moment to take stock of the situation, we got here far too easily. The exit must be the hard part. Is the rest of the group going to follow you?
I tried to talk Din into looking at the end of the corridor before I came, but she just kind of looked around me. So I stepped forward, and the little guy, he seemed a bit scared. I don't know that he'd follow.
Okay, so the two of us might need to fight our way out.
Okay. Back to the other group, so we can we'll be doing a little bit of bouncing backwards and forwards here, guys. I do apologize if that's the case. Din, as you approach down the corridor and your eyes adjust, you see a large, curled up snake skeleton at the end of the corridor. Yes. And as you get a little bit closer, it seems to stir.
I don't like that.
That makes it an undead. Where's my wolf? We have to kill this one. Undead or evil.
Well, that's true, I suppose.
Are you,
Great. I'm gonna shoot it.
Oh, God. I mean, oh, Bahamut.
You know that we're not at full strength. Oh.
And while you're debating what you should do about this large snake skeleton that's curled up in the corner, occupying about 10 feet squared...
I don't think that we're actually debating. I think
Din has already rolled initiative and fired an arrow. Okay, yeah, can everybody else in that corridor roll me initiative?
Does any sound carry into the treasure room?
Where? Maybe.
Does the 23 hit?
Does a 23 hit? Yes, it does.
Oh, good. Finally
You
hit
fire an
something.
You fire an arrow, and it hits the snake skeleton straight in the head, and just bounces off, basically.
Oh, that's not good.
Just bounces off.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to slash it. Getting closer.
Ah, you went the wrong way. Okay, fantastic.
You know what the worst thing about undead is?
What?
Tasha's hideous laughter doesn't work.
I hear Tabarin on IR pretending that we're very calm because we have no idea what's going on out there.
Yeah.
We're just calmly assessing the treasure room, trying to figure out if it's safe. Not
Okay.
aware.
18 tiny chip of bone seems to fly off as your arrow strikes it. But it's quite apparent, Din, that shooting arrows is probably not going to do much.
All right.
After Din
Switch
takes
into
her
the
action, we'll go with Brig.
I only do piercing damage.
Totally gonna win.
I'm just gonna turn around to our big muscle-bound cleric-y guy and say, Rogar, is there something that you can do about the undead? Assuming that's what it is.
Well, I am certainly willing to kill giant snakes that are the enemies of my god. And I carry a big hammer.
You do carry a very big hammer, which makes you quite suitable for smashing things like this in the face. Speaking of which, can you roll me a religion check? I believe it's a religion or something to that effect. Intelligence, religion, a 10. You actually do recognize what this is. Even with a 10, you recognize what this is, because it is one of the sort of staple enemies of your god. You recognize this as none other than the undead remnants of a naga, a bone naga. Specifically, there's two factions that your religion are at war with: the Naga and the Yuan-Ti. The Naga are scary by themselves, but the Yuan-Ti actually revive and reanimate dead Naga and create these Naga skeletons. They are formidable opponents. Formidable opponents. You've never heard of anybody from your tribe taking them on one-on-one, let's put it that way.
Well, alright then. Presuming that I can convince my teammates that we could back off on this one, I would love to do so. For the time being, until we have
But
some more
undead
assistance.
things are evil. We have to kill them.
I agree with you. But tactically, this doesn't make a lot of sense right now. I do want to kill it, but I want to have an advantage when we fight it.
The
I
good
think
guys
that we
only
should
come out
find
ahead killing the bad guys if they don't die themselves.
Alright, so Brig, what are you doing?
So I'm gonna kind of like look back and see Rogar's reaction as he assesses this thing, and then I'm going to tell Binks that I think it's a better idea to get out of here. Something about caution being the better part of valor.
Oh,
Basically,
sure, you'll rush some guy in his bedroom, but when we find an undead thing, nobody wants to kill it.
Do you really think that guy slept in the 2-inch pool of water?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. You killed him before he had a chance to say anything.
We'll have a philosophical debate about the nature of good and evil later. At the moment, we just need to get out of here.
Okay, as Din starts to back off, this thing actually starts to rush down the corridor now. It basically lengthens itself out, so it will actually fit down the corridor, and it is coming at you quite rapidly. Obviously very grumpy, but it won't make it all the way, it'll only make it about that far.
It's
And then, yeah, it's very, very unhappy with you. And then I'll get, I believe, Rogar, you get your final turn here.
yeah.
You're the last turn.
There's time to talk in combat and everything, right? We haven't. Meaning, like, okay, you guys need to get behind me, and we should hopefully be able to follow our teammates wherever they went to. Because even if wherever they went to is a trap, it's going to be better than where we are now.
Now we're going to
I will
try
bring up
science.
the rear.
So you're taking what, like a defensive stance then on the corner
Yeah.
to let
Yeah,
try and get let the
optimally
rest of the party
to...
get past?
Actually, can I get by blade? My bad.
Yeah, if you want to sneak past.
So yeah, if I can just get to right there, then I will attempt to move away from it in a way that doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity.
So basically, slowly retreat and defend is your
Yes.
current plan of attack. Okay.
Is that an
Slowly,
action type?
quickly
Is
retreat.
defending an action? Is there a thing for
Uh,
that?
I believe you can fight defensively.
Yeah, you can take like a dodge action thing. If you spend your action on defense, it makes it so things attack you with disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that sounds
so it's
a
like
good
instead of
plan.
attacking, you just defend yourself. You give them disadvantage. I'm relatively sure that that's how that works.
Yeah, it's a fairly significant advantage, as well as Llama found out when he didn't lose his head to the large scimitar.
That's right.
Okay, so Din, are you going to start retreating?
Yeah, I'm gonna go try science instead.
You're going to try science instead? Okay, so you can fall back your full movement then. And then it would be the bad... sorry, it would be... sorry, I missed Brieg. Brieg, sorry, it was your turn as well. Are you
Yeah.
also going to be...
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I will. Oh man, I forgot that being a rogue, I can move so far.
Yeah, you really can, can't you?
So I can I can use my action to move. I can use my bonus action from being a rogue to move, and then I can use
you
my
can
move
move.
to move. So I can, I'm very speedy, and I disappear at the end of the hallway.
Okay, and in your full armor... useless, how far can you move? Is it 20 feet?
I thought that it was... Well, I mean, my base movement is 30. I don't know what it is if I'm, like, on the defensive backpedaling.
I think it's just your... As far as I'm aware, it's just your, if your armor slows you down at all. What kind of armor are you wearing?
Oh, I'm wearing chainmail, and it is heavy, but I am proficient. I thought that and being rather large, I thought I would need to pull out my
Yeah,
the book.
I've got
I
it right
think
here.
the
Let me look it
normal
up.
movement speed, though.
So as long as your strength is more than 13, I think that you can move at normal speed wearing your
Oh, yeah.
chainmail.
I am plenty okay for that.
Okay, so I'm going to expedite this process then. You guys are going to be running over and... Vomp.
As soon as I pop into that room, I'm going to say, there might be a giant undead snake following us.
Well, this went from bad to worse.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll... it's going to take you 3 actions to fight defensively and fall back. I'm assuming that that's what you're going to do, just continue to fall back while dodging and trying not to get eaten by this giant undead thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 3 attacks, because that's how many you're going to take. So the first attack, it misses. The second attack misses. And the third attack will a 19 hit you.
Yes.
Okay, so a 19 would hit you. Okay, so
If I'd remembered to cast Shield of Faith during last round during movement.
okay, well, we're going to move you over here, and this thing is going to have chased you all the way.
wait.
And as you get to the very end of
Was
the
that-
corridor...
Was that all 3 attacks on the whole runaway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, but I was using my actions to defend. Never mind. I was planning on casting that spell, but it never... Unless... Does casting
Oh,
take a
actually,
whole
you know
action?
what? I forgot to do disadvantage. The first 2 guaranteed missed because I rolled a 1 and a 3. So disadvantage isn't going to matter. Will a 15 hit you, sorry? Because you were fighting defensively.
No, it won't.
Okay, so
Oh.
as it lashes out at you as you get to the end of the corridor, you manage to bring your shield up in time. You block its strike, but the force of its blow pushes you backwards, and poof, you disappear.
Welcome.
Hopefully...
Shall we expect a guest?
Well, that must have been fairly disorienting. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't even facing that direction.
Yep.
I hope I didn't fall on anybody.
Now you are all in the room, and this room is filled with treasure, filled to the brim with treasure. And I am just going
Better than
to.
an undead thing.
This
I
is
hope it's not filled with treasure because no one could ever take it back out again.
this is
That
not
was exactly my thought.
This isn't the sort of trap I was expecting.
Well, we haven't quite had time to assess the situation. We might avoid touching anything in case it is a trap of some sort. And check the door, perhaps.
As I half listen to him talking, I'm like grabbing a handful of gold as he says not to touch anything
Hey,
All right.
in case it's a trap.
So, did you two who were already here see which way we came in?
you sort of appeared right there, where you remember appearing.
Well, can we just go back out that way and kill the undead thing now that we are all here?
Well, I didn't see the thing, but if the three of you ran so hastily, do you think the two of us are going to make the difference?
Well,
And
yeah,
as you-
because we were running because we were told we had to find you.
As you reach down and grab a handful of gold, make a Constitution save for me, please.
Double crit.
Double crit. Well, I'm glad you wasted that roll. You pick up the gold, and you feel funny, as you pick it up and you're holding onto it, and it feels really strange, like something is wrong, and you start to notice a sort of gold hue spreading across the palm of your hand, and you hastily drop the gold.
Don't touch the gold.
Well, I just finished saying that.
Right. Now I
Did you
think I
touch
know
the
why you
gold?
said that.
Okay, so the last thing to do here is to try the door, which appears to be my job, so I shall
That's
try
the
the
last-
door.
That was the first thing to do.
The door is locked, Alma.
Brig, how are you with locks?
my thieves' tools float over and start working on the lock.
Okay, do a
Where did
thieves.
I appear?
check.
Did I go back out? How did
No,
I get in
no,
here?
you didn't. You sort of walk up and sort of step into the space and step back out. Step into the space and step back. It's not working.
I hate science.
That's good science, lass. No, even when you fail, you've learned something that doesn't work.
I would
Okay,
like
so-
to just learn the things that do work.
That's a bit harder.
Breed spends some time from across the room with waving his hands and his thieves' tools of picking the lock on the door. And you can see the concentration on the furrow in his brow, but even after sitting down for a couple of minutes and trying to pick his way through the door, he can't do it.
Well, we've tried it the gentle way.
I have an
Rogar, how
axe.
about that hammer of yours?
I can try whatever you'd like me to.
Well, there's not getting any more food, water, or air in this room.
I've got an idea if that doesn't work.
Is your idea less violent? We might try it first.
I would try and shatter the lock from the inside
Have at, sir.
and blow it up. Everybody
Good work.
should probably stand back.
Careful not to step on any treasures. How far can I
Yeah.
get from the explosion?
I was just about to say, the room
we
is,
need-
as I mentioned, quite full of treasure. So
There-
what you guys need to do here is actually everybody needs to roll a dexterity save for me.
When
To
you say-
represent you trying to balance and not step on.
Now, when you
You
say
know-
blow it up,
Everybody needs to be 10 feet away from the door.
Let's maybe go with the hammer first.
we were going to try less violent options, I thought.
Okay, watching those dex saves come in. Oh, yeah. Oh no.
Attempts is right.
Okay, so as Useless tries to make his way up to the door to hit it with a hammer, he accidentally steps on let's say it's a gold goblet with spiky bits. Fortunately, it penetrated his shoe, but he does need to roll a Constitution save, as does Flick, please, both of you.
And our giant gold dragonborn becomes slightly more gold.
Your foot gets a lot heavier, and you manage to lift it off the gold, but yeah, it's heavy, incredibly heavy, and you've lost all sensation in it.
Sweet.
Is it still creeping up the leg there?
Not from what you can see.
Okay.
It appears as soon as he stopped making contact with the gold, it stopped spreading.
Oh,
That's gonna be awkward.
yeah. In case it's not visible to everybody, as I'm trying to walk forward and instead pivoting around one foot.
Step thump. Step thump.
Maybe
yeah,
if we
I
get
can
out of
still
here,
make it
you
to the
can
door,
sell your
though.
foot to a healer.
You can
Have them
still
heal
move.
your foot.
You can still move, but your base movement's been reduced down to 10 for now.
Okay. Alright, yeah. See if I
But
can get
it's
this
just
door
very
down.
heavy and awkward.
Maybe I'll try
Alright.
kicking the door
try
with my
kicking the
very
door.
heavy foot.
Have you? I don't know if you're aware
We
of
can
the
all
laws
help.
of
We can pick
Newtonian
up your
motion,
foot
but
and throw it at the door.
Hey, I don't think I'm crazy, but this worked before. I'm gonna take one more of the. So I still have 2 vials of the pure water from the 2-inch pool in front of
Yes.
the statue. I'm gonna take one of those and splash it on his foot.
okay. After you splash it on his foot stops being gold and goes back to being normal,
Oh,
Yay.
and you
Thank
went
you.
down 1 vial of pure liquid.
I've only got one more,
Shit.
so no one's allowed to get cursed.
I'll
make an
get out of
attack.
This room.
Make an attack against the door.
Just a regular.
Yep.
With my warhammer.
And 10 is what you to hit a stationary object. Right. You hit it. Roll damage for me.
9.
9 damage. The door was old and fairly rotten, and as you hit it with the hammer basically goes straight through the door. And as you look through the door, you can see there's a little bit of a corridor here on the
Good,
other side.
not an enormous snake.
Yay!
While you guys continue, while he's working on the door here, you guys are obviously looking around, being very careful not to step on things. You can see that there are what appears to be some very ornate humanoid statues made purely out of gold, buried amongst all of the other treasure.
I suspect that those are past adventurers.
Can we just sprinkle? Do we have to use your whole vial? Maybe we can help them.
I want to examine the statues and see if I can get any details as to who or what they may be or have been.
Okay, yeah, sure, I can let you know about that. And while I'm doing that, Useless, if you want to continue to work on the door, you can roll another attack.
Miss
And then
Din,
damage if you hit AC 10.
There's
Eventually
a
you'll get
difference
through it.
between a foot and an entire person. They may be
Another
long
12 damage.
Oh,
Another
but
12
maybe it
damage.
was overkill on the foot. We don't know.
Is there anything in this room that is not gold?
Yeah, there's some antique paintings, some interesting furniture that don't appear to have any gold on them, and some gemstones as well.
I'm going to mage hand one of the gems off its pile, and hold it up for Harbeck. Say, do you think that anything would happen if we take this one?
Can you float it all the way home?
Yes.
Can you put it in a pouch?
Yes.
The pouch might be a bit of a risk, but less than touching it with your hand.
Well, I don't want to take it if the person that I eventually sell it to is going to turn into a rock.
Well, what if you sell
but
it to
then you
someone you
could
don't
have
like?
all of their things.
A rock? It's a precious mineral. It's a little bit different.
You know,
We're gonna get back to that conversation about good and evil, Din. We really are.
I imagine, Brig, that we could wash it in the fountains that we found earlier.
Wait, I have an idea. If you
Uh-oh.
can carry things without touching things, we can go back to where the snake is and just throw gold at it.
We could try that.
I think we're forgetting the point that we don't know how to get back.
With a resounding crash, Rogar manages to bust his way through the door. It's been blown completely off its hinges. Everybody can easily make their way through that door.
How
And
can
you can see
we
a
carry
corridor
things
right.
without touching things?
So someone in the chat pointed out that if we turn the bone snake gold, that makes it an elite enemy, and while the loot gets better, its stats also get better.
Specifically hardness. Wait, no, gold is probably less hard than stone.
Also, if we like that thing's got to take up an entire hallway, right? Like, how would you? I'm gonna fail another deck save trying to get past it just to get to the end of the corridor if it's actually in front of something that matters.
But I have a magic rope.
Dear.
What?
Okay, well, if we turn the snake into gold, I'm waiting on this side of the corridor, on wherever it is, because
There was a pit.
I don't
We
want
could just
my-
put it in the pit.
but gold again. It was. How are we gonna get a many feet long snake turned into solid gold into anything?
With
Especially when we can't
magic
touch it.
rope.
Right, but it's also going to be incredibly heavy.
There's lots of us.
But only one rope.
But we can. It's a long rope. We can all pull it.
Perhaps,
What if the
as
rope's
entertaining as this
really
conversation is, perhaps we might solve the first problem first, which is we don't know where we are.
I'm going to risk it for a biscuit and put the gem that I picked up. I'm going to drop it into my actual hand and see if anything terrible happens. Ready to
No.
drop it the instant anything terrible happens.
No,
No?
you plucked a small ruby, worth a fair amount of money though, as gemstones typically are, from the pile, and yeah, when you clutch it in your hand, no issue. It's just a
Great. Then I'm
nice
going
ruby.
to spend a minute while they debate what to do about a potentially giant golden snake, collecting any other bits of treasure that are not gold and putting them in a pouch.
I had another idea about our first problem, which is we
Okay.
don't know where we are. One of these gold people might know where we are.
We could also just head out down the hallway. Rogar, open the door.
I'm with Brig on this. I may need this vial for my own decursing or one of y'all's safety. So I'm not sure I'm willing to just use it on some random statue.
Din dear, we'll come back for them.
Okay, so
I think that's a good idea.
that's a good compromise. Come back for them.
But we
The,
don't know where we're going.
That's true. And having one more person in here who found their way here and wasn't as clever as us got turned into a statue,
But
they probably can't help.
they may have come in a different way.
I think anyone who knows the other way in probably knows not to touch the gold.
Well, all right. Off we go then.
Okay, so are we heading out?
I will take the front again, go look around the corner.
Awesome.
Goodbye, gold people. Good luck.
Gonna be kicking yourself here, by the way. As you glance down the corridor, something unusual happens. You remember that corridor down there?
Hey!
Apparently it's just a long corridor. Like, you see the remnants of the door that you kicked through, hanging off its hinges. against the western wall there. It's just a long corridor.
That looks familiar.
But you recognize the door.
Yep.
The door that you ran past in abject terror.
Okay. Well, it's not as far a journey to bring that water back for those people as we thought. Let's go.
So
Okay, and as
do I remember
Harbinger-
incorrectly? I thought we had already drained the whole pool of healing water.
That was
There
the healing water in the small basin. This water is the 2-inch one that you fell into and disappeared.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
Oh, did we take all that water?
No, we
All of this
did.
water.
Well, the one replenishes itself. But the one that didn't, do we have it all?
No, I think we left some in there.
You did leave a little in there, yeah.
I took 1 vial, but I used the 1 vial already on the snake around the statue.
Right.
So, while Din threw out a lot of ideas that I didn't love so much, I did think it was an interesting idea to mage hand a piece of gold onto the snake. So I'm gonna just carry a piece of this cursed gold in my mage hand, floating behind me, for use as a projectile weapon.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm going to keep
By
my
the way,
promise to Din.
as you step past that corridor, like that wall there, and you turn around, there is a solid wall behind you.
Oh. That.
So from where you're standing, there's a solid wall, and you can't see the rest of the party.
Oh.
Did,
Did we disappear or did they disappear?
I can see you. You guys are right there.
is this wall an
You can
illusion?
hear him.
I'll try to touch it.
Try to touch it; it feels solid.
Well, that's clever.
You probably have to run at it and believe.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You have to be careful who you're talking to.
We already know how to get to that room. We don't need to go running into walls.
I
really don't like it in here. Can we leave soon? It's dark and close.
We have to kill the rest of the evil things that you wouldn't let me kill before.
Before I come out there and we get more water, do we want to splash a vial on a statue in here? And then I'll just... forget it.
Yeah, let's see
Yes,
if it works.
now that we know the way out. Now that we solved
Decisions?
problem number 1, we need to go solve problem number 2, which is the giant snake. But I feel like if we have more people, we can kill the giant snake. So maybe if we ungold them, they will join our team because they're so happy to not be gold anymore that they will help us kill a giant snake. I
Makes
would be
sense.
happy.
She has a stunning logic.
Go try it.
Okay, I'm gonna step back into the room and look
It's
for
the one that
one.
looks like they could bash things.
Perhaps. but
Because
not
I don't
you.
want something to bash me, I want to look for something that maybe is somewhat magic-y.
Okay. You find somebody wearing flowing robes made of solid gold, and you sprinkle the water on them, and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Well, that's awkward.
That was... Let's
So-
go get some more of that.
It looks to me like we have 2 choices here. We can either leave with what we've gathered, or we can go try to fight the snake that so frightened Rogar.
There is a third choice. We could sneak past it.
I don't think that's really an option. We left it right in that junction where all the hallways meet.
Maybe it returned to its home.
Well, I suppose I could go look.
Why don't you have a peek?
Okay, I'm gonna go sneak down the hall and look to see if the snake is still there.
I'm going to follow him, and then when he tells me to stop because I'm cramping his sneaking style, I'm going to stop.
Okay.
I just want to be close if he gets in trouble.
I
Makes sense.
want to go get 2 vials of water.
No worries. Okay, so you can head down, reach that door again.
So at
which is
about
closed.
this corner here, I'm gonna motion for Harbeck to stop following me.
Harbeck stops at the corner there.
Then I'm gonna roll a stealth.
Okay. Alrighty, and then what? You're just going to slowly open the door and peek through?
Yeah, did we close the door behind us?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, then I'll just kind of quietly open the door and take a peek down that hallway.
Okay. You
22
slowly
quiet.
open the door. You slowly open the door, and you peek through, and you see a long corridor.
Okay. I'll motion for Harbeck to follow me, and then I'll sneak down to the junction and see if I can see the snakies from here.
Okay, you sneak down there, and you see another long corridor.
Okay, then I'll walk back to where everybody's waiting by the door and say, it appears the snake has gone back to his hidey hole.
Ooh, good, let's go kill it.
No, perhaps we should explore first, and we'll try to kill it last before we leave.
You were so anxious to kill everything when we got here. Why don't you want to kill the evil things now?
Well, those things knew we were here. This
So
one doesn't.
does this one.
N- w-
I shot it with
Rose.
an arrow. It knows we're here.
Rogar might be able to shed some light on this. Bone Nuggers, from your understanding, they're animated constructs, effectively. They're undead. They don't really think for themselves. They're typically under the control of 1T, who are... They're basically lizard people, and one of the factions that are at war with your god Bahamut. Bone Nuggers are not like normal Nuggers. They're not intelligent. They're just a construct. They're typically charged with a very set, specific goal. Like, I don't know, guard this room? Perhaps? So, you can probably determine from your knowledge of Nagas and Bone Nagas specifically that, you know, it has a job. And if you don't upset it, then there's not going to be much of a risk. It's not going to remember that you're here or anything like that. It's just a construct.
But it's still an undead, and so it is still evil, and Mother said kill all of the undead things.
We'll kill the undead thing when we're more sure
Let's go.
that we can handle it. Let's explore the rest first. There may be more undead in here. Let's go find them first.
Or perhaps we can find whoever it is that's controlling that one. And if we kill them, then we disable the snake.
Rogar,
You know, two
that would be
birds.
a bad idea. Find whatever raised this.
Finding the thing that created the big thing that can kill us all is probably not a great plan.
Probably not a great plan. Okay, what are you going to do? And yes, little useless is adorable. What are you going to do from this junction? You can go right and end up back in the treasure room. You can go forward and find the big snaky thing, or you can go left.
We're gonna go... So, did the big snaky thing react not until...
Not until
Did
she
shot
shot it
it?
with an arrow.
No, it seemed to be stirring when she approached it.
Oh,
So, like...
That's
How-
how I knew it was an undead and not just a snake skeleton sitting in the end of the room.
Right, but how close was she when when it started to move? Could I...
About 30 feet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me look up something real fast.
Looking up Mage Hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the range on it is. I might go turn that into a giant gold monster. 30 feet. So here's my plan. I'm gonna go like sneak down the hallway just until Snake is barely within Mage Hand range, and then as quickly as possible reach the Mage Hand over and drop the cursed gold coin on the Naga, and then run away.
Okay, I like your logic.
I'm gonna wait right here, and as soon as I see him at that corner at the top, I'm gonna run over here.
In preparation. Okay, you get to
Killing the thing.
you get to the end of the thing, and you manage to get down. So, what's the range on Mage Foot? Mage Hand? Mage Foot.
It's 30 feet.
Mage foot.
Sometimes I use it like Mage Foot.
It's like Mage Hand, but for kicking.
I have very dexterous mage toes. That's how I pick blocks.
As you get to 30 feet away, you do notice it's starting to shift, starting to wake up, I suppose. But you quickly float the gold coin over, drop it on the top of its head, and you see the thing. One second.
You see the thing roll a Constitution save.
How did you know?
I've played this game before.
I should GR that. Okay. Oh, and you see the gold start to spread over it, slowly but surely. And as it spreads over it, you see its movements become even more sluggish, like it was only just sort of shifting, and you can see it sort of creaking to a halt, like its joints are seizing and it's not capable of moving anymore. And shortly after, about 5 seconds after the gold coin makes contact, the whole thing is solid gold and still in a big on the ground.
I'm
My
not gonna
plan
lie,
worked.
I'm quite surprised that worked.
Mage Foot.
Tabrin is just kind of staring there, dumbfounded.
Yeah, so I drop the coin and then I like start backing up because I'm afraid the thing is gonna go crazy and eat me instead of turn to gold. And I see that it starts working, I stop and I just stare, like, really, really.
Din, can you make a wisdom save for me, please?
A fantastic non-combat victory.
Oh,
Way
that's
to go,
what you
less
think.
lethal.
Nope.
Din, you are laughing and you can't move. All of a sudden, you're frozen in place.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Little guy, I can't
You can
move.
speak, but you can't move. Yeah.
Rogar, is there anything about Nagas paralyzing their enemies? I think that perhaps it's just golden and not dead.
Do I know
Okay.
anything about that? I don't know if, how detailed a knowledge I have.
Nagas are known to be very, very proficient spellcasters. Bone Nagas retain some of that capacity.
Oil can.
And normally I would get you to make a reflex save here, but unfortunately, it's very hard to make a reflex save when you can't move.
When I
Oh,
have no
flash
reflexes
firestorm!
at my disposal.
How dare you be right?
So I'm guessing that 22 is going to hit your touch armor class.
Yep.
So you need
I'm
to
gonna not
take.
reflex.
What level is it? It's a 3rd, so you're going to need to take and that. A lightning bolt jettisons from the mouth of the Bone Naga, strikes you full on in the chest, searing flesh and burning away your cloak. You take 19 points of damage.
So much for non-combat victory.
I was so excited that the non-combat victory happened right at the hour mark, so we can take our scheduled break for the YouTube cut. And now we'll
Which we
just
can
leave
do
it on a
right now.
cliffhanger for the YouTube cut.
Everybody
turns
will
out-
make the roll initiative, and we'll jump back into the game when we get back from the short break.
It turns out when you turn something that's animated by necromancy, not by its internal organs, into gold, it doesn't really care.